Okay, so, we have a quorum, now we need to do the pledge of allegiance. Flag of the United States of America. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. I know, well, because there's a lot of people that have some stuff tonight. I've been informed that they have places to go and people to see, and they're like, move it, Debbie. So, hey, we're supposed to see how we can get it done. Okay, so you don't have any visitors tonight and nobody on, right, so I guess we need to.
I move to approve the agenda.
Tim's helping me out.
Second that. I'm here to help.
All in favor?
Somebody needs a second.
Oh.
I already did. Oh, okay.
I did good out. Okay, so, and then we need to move to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
All in favor?
We are.
No discussion.
No discussion, no discussion, okay, and no student representative because she graduated, so I'm guessing she was gonna join us tonight. All right, so then superintendent report.
Yeah, so, our big highlight for the month is passing the bond, the measure pass. Other activities, well, the bond measure passed and the next day we were into, project planning and moving right along. So that's what we've been involved in, meeting with the bond management, organization, the bond attorney, and getting all the documents set up that you see on the agenda tonight. And moving ahead with PCS engineering and looking at the design for the seismic improvements over there for the high school. And yeah, graduation.
We had nice weather for it, I missed last night, I didn't go well. It's really late, yeah.
I saw pictures this morning, I go, oh my gosh, it's there.
Yeah, I didn't make it either.
Huh, good, you made it though, right? Okay, very, I saw pictures of my candy now.
It was not intentional.
Any questions on our report?
Yeah, just a quick question for you. We applied for the seismic grant on the other buildings. Is that gonna take quite a while to hear back the results, or is that?
We're in process on that, so we got a grant we got the TAP grant to do the assessments on the 3 buildings.
Okay.
So we go through the assessment first, and then we apply for the seismic grant.
So you're talking maybe next year?
Well, we're moving right along where we at, so.
Yeah, we have we applied for that seismic, the CAT grant, and actually this news for you too as well. The grant will also cover four facilities. We have 3 structures at the high school. I'm going to go ahead and include this structure here. It may or may not be a lot because it's a newer building, but we might as well go ahead and include it because they'll cover it. And then what we can do from that information is apply to individual grants for each one of those buildings.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm just curious.
So the structure being the one, the wing there or the new?
the whole new.
Okay, everything has a petition.
Yeah.
So Joel,
Because there's one older version there, right?
Yeah.
And then there's new.
Yeah, that was put in the 80s, 87. You're right, it's a little older. It might have some seismic to it. Yeah.
do they award those 1 a year, or can you get multiple structures in 1 year?
They rarely do they give a district two awards. It has happened, but it's pretty rare.
So we have the gym, and then maybe next year we'll get another building,
Right.
and then another building, then another building.
Yeah.
So during the life of this bond, we will have these grants coming up, hopefully.
Hopefully, yes.
Good plan.
But we'll know with the assessment which buildings qualify, so we'll know how many years out we're going to be planning to work on each building, so we'll be able to plan it that way. The other thing is they go through a round of distribution of funds to the districts that qualify, that they see in highest need. if there's funding left in the pool, then they'll do a second round. And if we're in the second round, depending on how many districts apply, we could get 2 buildings in a year.
That'd be perfect if we had, life of this bond and the work we're gonna do, that'd be great.
You say need, will they hold us getting the bond against us?
No, not at all, it has nothing to do with it, it's all on the structure.
Good.
Thank you.
We didn't have any public comment, so unfinished business. So we have all of our policies, and there was no comments on any of those that we got to request them, so we need a motion to approve the list. I won't make you read the motion.
So I move that we adopt the posted policies, that are listed policies.
Okay, all in favor? Awesome. All right, new business. So, we have an action item to, oh wait, we can't do that yet, right? Adopt the budget,
Not until the.
not until the hearing, and the hearing's not for another little half hour. I went too fast, look how fast I went. So, can we make the motion to change it so we can move past it?
I move to amend the agenda to move new business X1 to the end of the regular meeting. Is that sufficient?
Ask Marilyn, she's
Yes.
okay,
I'll second that.
okay, perfect, that works out great, so we can do that. I was like, wait a second, we can do it. But we can't approve the meal price. Right, okay,
We need to vote on that.
yes, we need a motion to approve the meal resolution.
No, we need to vote on moving, adjusting the agenda.
Oh,
He seconded it.
yes, sorry. See, I remember those, all in favor, good, great. Thank you, Tim. Keep me in line over here.
You're welcome.
So now the action is to approve the meal price resolution for this,
So moved.
okay? Second. That's it, awesome. All right, oh, we're gonna buy a bus.
No,
So I think,
Oh, yes, we need to vote.
so I think usually we have,
Oh, does,
you guys give an update.
on the meal, yes.
On meal prices?
Yeah.
What questions do you guys have, or
Yeah.
what information would you like to know? And I think you're the expert, so you'll probably want to tell us what you think we should know. Okay. Well, I looked back at history, and on my spreadsheet here, since 1617, there's been a pattern of breakfast prices being raised by a nickel every year, and lunch prices going up a dime every year. Little side note, 2021, 21, 22, we did free prices for all. So, starting this year is when we lost that pandemic funding. So the grade school qualified for free pricing. But when we made last year's resolution, instead of going up by a nickel, we kept things the same because we didn't really know what collection was gonna be like coming into this year, since we've been on free for everyone. However, when we kept the numbers the same, we actually used 2 years ago pricing. So 2021 and 2020, 22, 23 were the exact same. So we're technically behind 1 year. So if you notice, these prices are a double jump. So it's 10 cents for breakfast, 20 cents for lunch in most, for Creswell, the middle school and the high school. It is needed because we are doing higher quality food. So our food bill with this new program is up quite a bit. So we're not passing off all of our costs to our families. I think we're keeping it really reasonable when we put it at these prices. It's still a little early to say with the data on expenditures and revenue for this new program, but I'm collecting that data, and maybe in August can give you an update for the 4 months that we did do it this school year.
Do we ever like look at other like schools and what they charge for lunches, or is it just based on our costs?
I personally don't know, but that's definitely something I can pull numbers.
I was just curious, that was just a good question.
No, it's a good thought, for sure.
All right, so then, any other questions for Chanel?
So is the elementary school still eligible for free Yeah, so LH is kind of silly that they're on here because we qualified for 4 years on the CEP program. So for another 3 years now, we're still free at the elementary level. I have been requesting as well for them to pull the data, which all comes from the state and like, SNAP benefits based off of our registration of our kids. So they'll look at the middle school and high school numbers, and if by chance those went up, there'd be a possibility that middle school and high school could go free as well. We were right on the verge last year, so
We were close at the middle school.
we were a
Yeah.
little further off the high school, but their formula works that if one of our schools, especially like at the elementary, if we grew at all, it can help bring the percentage up for the other 2 schools. And if we get over 40% as a district, then we all will qualify. But, the elementary this last year, they were like 41, and the other schools were like 35, 37, so it didn't average out to 40. So that is why the elementary is one of the qualified.
So there's an opinion in the community that is based on having filled out. And I think what I'm hearing you say is that's not true. It's based on our population and a comparison to SNAP benefits,
Yes,
not on how many kids or families filled out this.
correct. Okay. For introduced, you will see different percentages on that, which is probably where it can be confusing, because if you told someone, you know, we have to be over 40%, some of our data does show over 40% in pre-introduced applications. But the state, when we send them certain things, but they run the data and come up with these percentages for the poverty level.
Appreciate the clarification. Thank you.
Good information. Thanks, Ken. Right, so we approved it, the second, did we vote? We need to.
Not.
Okay, yeah, we didn't do any, all in favor? Thanks, Ken.
All opposed.
Nobody opposed.
All in favor, awesome. All right, so then, we have an action to approve. Mike is gonna.
I second buying the bus.
All
Do
right.
you want any more information on the bus?
So I was gonna say, do we have any questions about it? But I don't remember that part this time.
I would have sent you guys a little more paperwork on it, but I just met with Sarah yesterday because, this was somewhat of a last minute request. So bear with me, because I'm reading some of her notes as well as what I've learned from her. So the buses were kind of under a timeline because of the Oregon revised statute, outlines a date of January 1, 2025 for diesel engines of a certain age that have to be replaced. So for us, that means 3 buses that we have of our 15 that have to be scrapped because they cannot be on the road anymore legally. So with that said, we need to replace 1 small, 2 bigs. And that is the quote. Sarah got a few quotes, but going through Western Bus Sales again and piggybacking on 4J's contract. So we didn't technically need to get any quotes, because I'm using theirs, but we're gonna go through Western Bus Sales. That's where the numbers came up of the 533. That's the estimated cost for the 3 buses. The other thing was, is we have to, I think I put that in the resolution about ordering them. That's what technically this resolution is asking for. And then I think we come back and do the second resolution once I worked out financing, but manufacturing is a year out. So we didn't order now. They have to, Western Bus Sales, Sarah on this, that they have to have an engine in the chassis by December 31 of this year, 2023. If not, they can't manufacture the bus. So by putting our order now, that guarantees us 3 buses that we probably won't be able to take delivery on until next summer. So again, this is for the approved budget for 23-24, this would not affect that. It would come out of 24-25 budget.
It's in the order.
Yeah. And so that's when looking at Fund 274 and our vehicle replacement fund, and forecasting out these 3 buses, we're in pretty good shape that we've been transferring about 100 grand each year for general fund to vehicle replacement. So if we kept on that same pattern for the next 6 years, we have enough to finance these buses and pay them off then and have our fleet super solid.
Yeah, as somebody in purchasing at eWeb, I know the supply chain, especially for fleet in the vehicles we're buying is I'm buying figments in my imagination because they, it's way off. And I'm impressed that we're getting these buses sooner than I'm seeing my vehicles. But anyway, thank you for the update. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
And I'm glad the funding is gonna catch up.
yeah, I think we're in a really good spot. We have, 2 years left on our payments that we financed 2 buses together in 2019 through Santander. So we have 2 more years to pay those off, and then next year is our last payment, of the single bus we financed through Mercedes. There's one more payment there. So when I look at those dropping off, and again, if we keep transferring the 100,000, we will end in 2029 with still a little bit in our vehicle replacement and 15 buses that are all up to date and legal on the road. So,
And we're using the cooperative fund contract with 4J.
yes.
Good.
As a side note, Sarah, she talks with her counterparts and has meetings with them regularly, and we are in really good shape compared to some districts and their transportation department due to this statute. Some are not in the same boat as us, so.
Where we're only replacing three, they have one of them.
Exactly.
That would be very unfortunate.
So did you say the date was 7/1/2025?
January 1, 2025. Which is great, because if we take delivery of these, next July, August, sometimes summer wise, that gives us still that 6-month buffer. For some reason, they were even a little further out. We have 6 months before we have to scrap the 3 that are, their age is before 2000. So that's why they have to go.
All right, any other questions? All right, all in favor? All right, so. Bond updates. So. Actually, we have to confirm an action to confirm the election votes for the bond. I'm not sure why I have to do that. We did.
Well, I move to confirm the election votes for measure 20-342.
Second, that.
All in favor? Oh, any discussion on that? I don't think so.
Well, my only comment is, thanks to Mike for all the,
Yeah.
community engagement, community meetings, community time and everything that went. And the fact that, we're confirming a vote that went 70% in favor. That, the middle school barely made it and we had 70%, so we're in a good spot.
In the pack too, all the people that are.
A lot of work from people on the board, back. Just a lot of folks involved that really wanted to see this happen.
Mhm.
Well, I was expecting 55-45. I was not expecting 70-30.
Yeah,
Not even close.
yeah, so, great, okay, everybody in favor? We'll go back to that part, I didn't forget, it's really right here in front of. Girl, I can't see any. Please vote. Okay, so, we need to authorize the bond and specify the uses. For the resolution to that, which basically is already, the uses were basically in the bond measure itself, so we just need to have an action to approve and authorize it.
You actually want, would you like to make a?
Oh, no, I'm okay.
This resolution here authorizes,
I don't want to step on you.
Yeah.
authorizes the sale of the bond, that was approved by the voters on May 16th.
Oh, it authorizes sale.
They're all authorized to sale.
Oh,
Then I move to approve resolution 2223-04 to authorize bonds and specify use.
I second that.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along. So we're gonna.
Not yet.
Oh, we don't, we're gonna vote. I'm gonna remember that. I'm just gonna do this like a stick and start hitting.
I think that's not allowed in school.
All right, all in favor? I will remember. Okay, next item on the agenda would be to approve the superintendent and the business manager as the bond managers.
So moved.
Oh, good time. That was really great. Any discussion on that,
What does it mean? I mean, I think I know what it means, but what is offered and is on?
So we will monitor the spending of the bonds and all of the appropriate laws that apply to it.
There you go. All right, all in favor? Next item is appoint Superintendent Johnson to establish the bond oversight committee.
So moved.
Any discussion on that?
Yes, I have one thought. I love the two-page document. I have one suggestion concerning at least 2 Creswell High School students. My suggestion is that we mandate that they not be of the same graduating class. And my reason for that is that if they both end up being seniors, then they potentially would both be on the committee for only a year. And I would,
I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't.
anyway, I would like to extend it to make sure we have at least one junior sophomore in there along with potentially. Maybe we don't have any seniors, but I want to make sure we don't have more than 2 seniors. I mean, I don't want 2 seniors. I want one senior and one somebody else. That's my discussion. If somebody wants to tell me why I'm totally full of it. Welcome to that.
Very interesting point.
Yeah. I think it's a good point. But I was curious, like, so if there was a senior and they came off, would that be somebody that you would ask for, like a rotating position, or is it?
Yeah, we would fill the position.
Okay.
Actually, we're looking at the students, or what I'm looking at, student participation. I would see some out of the ASD that might be interested in more than a year, but a year, they have a lot of activities and a lot going on in their lives.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they would commit to longer than a year. But
Yeah,
I would
just make it like a rotating. So then it wouldn't really matter what grade level they were then.
Then it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, if you think that they're probably only gonna sign up for a year anyway, then
Well, I would want to check with them at the end of the year to see if it really interfered with their activities and that they really want, they will full amount of activity. And their student activities are really important too.
What level of commitment would it be for a student? Like, what would, let's say, if they did this for a year, what kind of commitment do you think that they would have?
So the same as the committee, you know, I think initially we'd be meeting monthly at a minimum. Because we have a lot of projects going on right now, right out of the gate. And then it would be quarterly or as often as being necessary by the committee. But the responsibilities of communication and reporting out to the student body and keeping things going, the communication piece, students actually is important too. So that's more work and commitment. And I don't know if they want to also participate in things like videoing the projects and declaring those on their site, on their website.
So, I mean, realistically, it would be flexible to like the committee where if the kids have practice, they just came after. Like, would it have that level of flexibility? Like, I know with the steering committee, like Malachi sometimes would be 15 to 20 minutes like after football practice to a meeting, but he would still attend as soon as like football was over. Would it have that kind of flexibility for the students?
It would depend on the committee and what time you set the meetings.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
was just more or less thinking like, I think it's really doable for the students, you know, to be able to participate, you know, like a really positive, interactive way. Because like how you guys had it structured with the steering committee or the strategic planning committee worked really well. So I'm sure you guys, they'll be able to work it in with all their other activities. But yeah, the ASB kids are really busy. That's a fair point. I think having an ASB kid on self, they are.
Well, depending on the term, right, the sport and what's going on in the year, it could run into a conflict with the meeting. Because if the meetings are at 5:30, and their practices are later, and whatever falls on that day, then they're really gonna be they're not gonna be able to attend.
Yeah.
And so if a student comes on that maybe that I'm gonna have to bow out for the winter term. And then we'll be running with one kid, but if 2 kids have to do that, and then you got try to find a couple more students to come on, and we'll work it in and out that way. But it is a commitment. It won't stop the community if we don't get the participation, but we do want 2 high school students on there consistently. And it's tough for them, I know it is, that's why I want to ask you.
I have a couple items that are more logistical or more.
I'm not sure for appointing the superintendent.
Yeah, technically,
Yeah.
Like,
you skipped.
talking about the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's vote.
Let's vote on appointing Mike first, so that I don't get confused. Okay, so like,
Talking about number 5.
yeah, we're talking about, we were discussing 5, but we haven't approved 4 yet.
Yeah, you're
Right.
technically on 4. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on 4.
You haven't made, yeah.
We need to finish 4 and then
Yeah.
move on to 5, is what I was
Yeah.
reading down the agenda. So did we had a motion and okay, so everybody all in favor of appointing Mike?
Thank you.
Sorry, I thought you were not.
No, you're totally fine. I did too. I was like backing up and going, wait a second. All right, now we're on action 5 where we need to approve his recommendation. So we have a motion.
I move to approve the recommendation.
It's like,
Oh, now we're discussing. I'm gonna discuss it again.
So, no concerns with the idea, love the whole idea and what it's comprised of. This is purely wording. I think we need to clarify to be registered to vote, because our students won't necessarily be registered to vote.
So when we're looking at the 9 at-large members and 2 students, we're talking about the 9.
Yeah, but we don't say that. I just think we need to clarify in there, because if we set parameters, then we are limiting, and we just need to say excluding students or something like that.
Or community members.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just more logistic. And then the only other one I think we should clarify is the last bullet, at least one member who's a parent or guardian of students enrolled in each school. Is that, I think that's 3 members, right? Or maybe
Yeah,
I'm
at
wrong.
least 1 in each school.
So maybe we should say,
Well, the way it's worded is, it's 1 member with at least 3 children,
I think we just need to clean up the
Oh,
wording.
1 child in each school.
Maybe 3 members who consist of parents who have a child that represents each school or something. It's just logistics. I don't think. Other than that, I really like it.
Okay. I will clean that up. From parent from each school for a total of 3.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks for the help on that one. It was
Well, you have,
it was easier.
yeah, you have the concepts, it's like, you just need someone else to read it one time and they go. "Oh."
Quite the challenge for developers. Okay.
Any
Got it.
other- All in favor? Perfect timing. We are gonna now reset, right?
You know what you could do, you could vote on that other resolution, you could adjourn the meeting and then you could call the special committee hearing because it's not good to talk about.
What's the motion? Oh,
Number, new business, number 1, adopting the budget.
We have to have the.
we have a meeting.
We have to have,
Oh.
we have to have this budget.
Like, hey, that's why you did. She pleased to go tonight.
You don't want to adjourn, you want to.
No, it's a recess.
We want to, yeah, she said recess.
Do we wanna?
Should we open the doors just so people feel like they can come in?
Well, so you've officially recessed
Recess.
and you open the hearing?
And now I'm opening the budget committee for.
Now.
It's only gonna ask the logistics, but technically, that doesn't always be open, right?
I think it's the garbage. It seems like, I think we discussed it and it seems like it's every time, it's like the garbage can goes by and it's like.
Not being way to crowd.
Fair.
So how long do we have to wait for?
I think it's 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay,
That's what the city does. when
Okay.
They do their hearings.
I think that's right. Wait 5 minutes. We'll go back into the regular meeting.
This is the awkward silence.
We can bring this up there.
Hey, can you help me with the
Sure.
This is the school, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the password to it.
Just so you know, sir, we're in the middle of a budget hearing where you are here to speak about the budget that we're going to adopt probably in about 4 minutes. Now is the time for you to say something.
Yeah.
Regular.
I was doing something else.
Well,
Yes,
we adjusted our regular meeting tonight, so we started at 5:30.
yeah, we're almost done.
We're almost.
Oh, it's like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear about resolution.
Oh, well, we haven't really talked about graduation.
No.
Like on there.
And then it just died. I swear.
Might hear a bit in the trustee reports about it.
We were all there.
Yeah, like.
Well, attendance in high school was, I think, the world's record for counting speeches and everything. It was fairly quick.
Even because we lived, my mother-in-law lived right across the road from it, and we went to see her, and we came out, and you guys were, everybody was gone. Oh, that's fast.
Yeah, it's now went really well, and then the junior, both of them were really well attended. I think all the chairs at the middle school were full, and the chairs were full in the high school, plus most of the stand. It was well attended, really well, pretty good speeches from the kids. It was well done.
Really?
They all stood right even.
Got a lot of kids that have done really well this year.
Hearing, and then we'll reconvene our board chairs. It's a lot for Debbie. Marilyn and I had to go over it a couple times. Correct. So then we move our action to approve the budget so now, so that's our last action. So I have a motion to approve
No, I moved to approve
the resolution.
resolution. For. For 2023.
This is 2023-24 budget, right?
Yeah.
It's listed as all three. But, yeah.
What's that?
I think it's the resolution 223-03, but we're adopting the 2023.
22-23, 03 is the resolution.
The resolution, that, okay, that's, okay. You have that?
I'll second. Sorry.
To be, sorry. Do we have any discussion regarding the budget? Thank you all.
Well, I just want to commend Chanel for guiding us through it seamlessly and
And
understandably.
it was quickly, quick,
It was quick
good, you got it down pat, you figured it out.
and it made sense.
And it makes sense, that's the biggest part for me, is like, I understand what she's talking about, so, all right. Everyone all in favor? Okay. All right, we are cruising, we are right down to it, trustee report. Mike, you, Chris.
Graduations is about it. They were fun.
Yeah.
Well attended, like you said, well attended, quick. I couldn't believe a high school was over in 45 minutes, but
Yeah.
it was well done, and that's about it.
Let's see, have we had a meeting since the bond passed? Haven't, have we? No, so I went to the lawn party, that was fun, and we did kind of the final stuff for the lawn, I think. Since the last meeting, I think we did some sign waving and some canvassing since the last meeting. High school graduation, middle school graduation, or promotion. Yeah. So,
Did those pictures turn out on your own?
oh, he did get some footage, yeah, so. The day before graduation, they asked if I could try to get some drone footage. They didn't have a lot of time to set up and it was pretty windy, but he did get some footage, so. He's also gonna take some footage, for Mike. Probably tomorrow in that evening before all of the stuff starts, so we have like a start point of like what it looks like, so.
Of each school or just?
We'll do each school. Yeah.
Is there?
You're pretty nervous.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you take a few pictures of the process of redoing the football field?
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, he will, he said he'll just, and he can be at our house and actually fly over and do it from there, so.
Oh, wow.
We'll have to like technically come over, but yeah, so he said he'll like kind of do some timestamps of it, so we can see the progress and stuff and have the videos.
And as a FYI, tomorrow on the football field, probably actually the very first thing that's gonna happen before the football field's work, the school board's being moved and restored. It's being removed tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Is it really?
We're gonna store it very safely.
We're actually asking them to store it,
Okay.
so that way it's stored outside. Well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But we want to make sure, you know, that it's stored safely and out of sight so that when we start excavation work, which is gonna happen very quickly. So anyway, 8 o'clock tomorrow, school board is being removed.
Wow,
Exciting.
that is really exciting.
Okay.
Since last meeting, I just, attended, Creswell High graduation and got to watch Lacey hand her daughter a diploma, which, and to hear a speech in 3 parts very quickly.
Yeah.
It, the whole, my compliments to Jenny. I don't think anything was missed, but yet it's one of the quickest ever encountered. It was enjoyable and, next year, if needed, I'll hand out, some diplomas at a minimum. I will take my turn taking
The stickers off. My goodness, that was something.
And-
They were so stuck to those diplomas too.
And-
Like, we gotta go to a different plan.
Yeah, there was little remnants.
Yeah, and then you're trying to remember that.
Amongst all of them, but I think it'll rub off.
Yeah,
But, at minimum, I'll take my turn
Yeah.
removing those.
you.
But, it was great to be able to sit and observe, so it was all good.
Yeah, it was good.
So since we were last year, we finished softball season, so finished practices, we made the playoffs, which was nice. We got a skin of our teeth, but we made it nonetheless. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but you know, we have no seniors, so next year we'll keep building, which is nice to see. I had my end of year meeting with Mike, where I got caught up on what's going on. And you all wish you was at that.
Yeah, geez, I feel like I'm throwing up again.
I wrote it down. Of course, graduation, which was delightful, which was followed by a number of graduation parties this weekend, which was nice to get to see the kids and wish their parents congratulations and the kids congratulations, which is where I answered, I would say 50 bond questions, you know, because they were all football players. So I got a lot of parent questions about when the work is starting, and sat with someone who's going to be doing some of the work and got some, inside information, so. More to come.
Well, same, high school graduation, which was great. I did, go to a high school graduation practice as well, and I would say Jenny, like, did a great job from where she started to where we ended. Cause I felt like when at the practice, we would still be there now. We were struggling, we were on the struggle bus, but then we, Mary and I walked over here and got to see the parade through the school. And that was really fun, I hadn't done that, so that was, I don't think that they did that when my kids were graduating, but it was fun to see all the little kids, they were so excited, and like a lot of siblings or cousins or whatever, and we could, that was fun. I met with Mike a couple times, my end of year and leadership. So, anything else? That we didn't cover? I did run the meeting. Right? That was the meeting. I think that was it.
I want to leave you, that just didn't do that.
Oh, the only other thing is that we won't meet in July. So our next board meeting won't be until August. Just a little reminder about that. And
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
A statement, you, so graciously drove in here to get here by 6, but does that really work for you to be here by 6?
like if we normally have it at.
Well, actually, I was here by 5:30.
Today
Yeah,
was
like 5:30, but like normally, I know it's tough on a regular school board meeting, so this,
Once a month, I can do it.
okay, great. I'm open to moving it, so I was just.
No, it's difficult when I get here early, at 6. And then the board meeting extends until 9:30. That becomes hard,
Okay.
but but I can deal with that periodically too. But what you're asking is, can I handle once a month meeting at 6 instead of 7?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. I want to make sure we're being fair to everyone.
I appreciate that.
Right. And I'm gonna have a meeting. Done, we're on the run.
That's very.
Yeah, sure, granddaughter. We did it. Taylor. I know. Oh, I know. I brought it. Yes. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Don't know how you want to.